WPSP. We Pick Sports. It's the We Pick Sports podcast. You're now tuning in to WPSP, the We Pick Sports podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to WPSP. I'm Chris Miller, a.k.a. Bill Skateboard.
And I'm Pete Zehler, a.k.a. Pete Zehler.
He's subbing in for Aaron today, so he'll be the co-host today. We've been off a few weeks now. I can't remember the last one we did. It was week 9 or week 10, whatever. No, it wasn't week 10. That was last week.
Yeah, no, that was probably, I'd say week 7 as a fan of the pod.
Yeah, I think it was week 7 or 8. We've been off 2 or 3 weeks, but you know how it goes. Aaron had a kid. I got a house. Shit gets busy. You guys know how that goes. Aaron's not here today. He was busy today, but he might be sending in his picks. So you might hear us say, like, Aaron, what do you think about that? And it should cut to a video. But if we don't get the video, then I'm just going to leave that in, and there's going to be weird pauses in the podcast, so hope you enjoy that. We'll dig right into this. We got Week 11 NFL. First game up is Thursday Night Football. We got the Cincinnati Bengals going against the Baltimore Ravens. Cincinnati, they've been kind of getting their shit together for a few games, but then they dropped that loss to Houston. That was a hell of a game. And we got Baltimore just dropped to Cleveland. They were up by 14 points in the fourth quarter, I think.
Yeah, it was 14, yeah.
Yeah. But with this one, I think I'm going to ride with Baltimore on this one. I think the AFC North just has the Bengals numbers for some reason. Like, the Bengals can't do well against their own division a lot of times. So I'm going to ride with Baltimore. I think Baltimore got them earlier in the season, and I think they'll get the job done here again.
This is probably the best game of the week because, unfortunately, there was a lot of terrible games on Sunday when I was going through this at work with a couple friends at work. This is an interesting game. Baltimore, so they have only trailed in 28 minutes so far this season. That's the third best in the history of the NFL. I think the 92 Dolphins trailed for 7 minutes through the first 10 games. There's another team that trailed like 22, and Baltimore's trailed 28. Of all the teams in the top 5, every single team is 10-0 except the Baltimore Ravens. They somehow lost 3 games with only trailing 28 minutes, which is pretty remarkable.
One in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, just in every single game that Baltimore lost has just been weird. Like, they dropped that game to Pittsburgh where they absolutely beat the living crap out of Pittsburgh for that entire game. They had Cleveland dead to rights and somehow gave that game away. The Colts game that they lost was weird. The Ravens just keep giving away weird games, and they've been such a dominant team all year, and it doesn't really make much sense. As for Cincinnati, they've come on strong lately. I don't know if I still completely trust Cincinnati yet. They've kind of been here or there. And last week they dropped a close one to the Texans, and I think they're still without T. Higgins this week, if I remember correctly, but I'm not certain on that.
Oh, yeah, I think he is out, because that's a big hit.
Yeah,
because T. Higgins is pretty much number one on any other team, most teams.
Well, yeah, last week their offense did not look good. They did not get going. They got like some big plays at the end to get back in it, but I think they went 7 straight drives with punting in that game at one point.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was just not going smoothly. So I'm going to go with Baltimore in this game. I'm going to take them in what I think will be a close game, but I have a hard time trusting them just because they keep losing games in stupid ways. So I'll go Baltimore right now, but it's probably the best game of the week tomorrow night.
Yeah, good way to start off the week. So we're both going Baltimore. Aaron, what are you going with?
What's up, everyone? It's Aaron. Here to make my virtual picks. I was pretty caught up in shit to do this week, so I didn't have time to hop on the pod. I'll be back next week, though. So first pick of the day. Good Thursday night game, it looks like. Bengals, Ravens. I think the Joe Burrow and company, don't know what to make of them. I said earlier that I thought they were going to come back and turn it on. They looked like that was the case. Took care of business with the 49ers, took care of business with the Bills, and then lose to the Texans, who I don't think are bad, but I don't think they're that great either, so... But I mean, then again, Ravens just lost too. I think it'll be a close game, good game. I'm going to ride with the Bengals.
All right, cool. The next game we got up is another AFC North game on our list. It's Pittsburgh Steelers going against the Cleveland Browns. Is this the first time they meet this year, I think?
Yeah. I don't remember the last one if they did play. Something tells me they played before, but I personally can't recall. So
for some reason, I don't think. Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
When Nick Chubb broke his leg.
Oh, yeah, yep. I think it was a
Yeah.
Thursday night game.
Yeah. Did Steelers pull that one off?
Yeah, Steelers won that game.
Probably
Steelers
because
did won that game.
I forgot about that. I forgot about Nick Chubb. Holy crap! I wish I didn't remember that. This one, I think I originally picked Cleveland just because, although Pittsburgh's been winning, they're 6-3. I don't think they've had any game, or maybe they've only had one game, or they've had more yards than the person they're going against.
Well, have you heard the Deshaun Watson news, right?
That's what I was getting to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because originally I picked Cleveland because their defense is good. I mean, they beat San Francisco, but that's when Brock Purdy was kind of not doing the normal Brock Purdy stuff.
Yeah.
And they had some injuries. Now, here's the problem. Every time I pick Pittsburgh on the podcast, they lose in real life. So I'm going to ride with Cleveland, so hopefully my boys in Pittsburgh pull the dub off. So I'm going to ride with the Cleveland Browns. Who are they going to start, DTR or?
No, it's going to be PJ Walker, I'd imagine. I haven't heard an
Walker.
official report, but DTR was really bad, so I think their PJ gives them a shot.
Yeah, I think DTR. Oh yeah, he's only had some shines and flashes in preseason. Right?
He did really bad in the regular season game they had him play.
So yeah, I'll ride. I don't know if this is an upset or not. If it is close, I'll ride with Cleveland Browns. PJ Walker on this one.
So actually, the line in the game is still the Browns 2.5, even with PJ Walker.
Oh, shit.
So it's in Cleveland. This is a weird one because I talked about how the Ravens were losing games they shouldn't win. The Steelers just keep winning games they probably should lose.
Yeah, definitely.
They have been outgained in yards in all 9 games they've played so far this year, and are somehow 6-3. Their defense is good. They have a very good defense. They have good weapons. It's just they just win ugly. They do not win pretty football games. And for Cleveland, I really like the defense. I think it's one of the best defenses in the NFL. I think it is the best defense in the NFL. Their numbers are like up there with the 2000 Ravens so far. Like they're having a great year on defense. PJ Walker's a fun quarterback to watch. He just seems to. He actually, I think his NFL record's like 6-1 or something like that.
No shit.
But he has really bad stats. Like he throws like an average of 2 interceptions every game. It's kind of like a Jameis Winston type experience with PJ Walker. I'm gonna go with the Browns in this one just because the Steelers. I just don't trust them. They just keep winning these ugly games, and I can't see them at 7-3. So I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh, or I'm gonna go with Cleveland in this one, and I'm gonna trust the Browns here, even without Deshaun.
Yeah, and then because Pittsburgh always, I think it's only the fourth quarter where they ever like actually outscore opponents or something like that.
Yeah, they get beat up in most games and just hang around and win with a defensive play by T.J. Watt or something.
Yeah. And speaking of their defense, they had 2 other injuries last week. The Quan Alexander's out; he's on IR, and Cole Holcomb is out too. So now those are 2 starters that are out, and I don't know if Minka didn't start last week. He was out, and I don't know if he's still going to be out this week. So those are 3 big holes there too.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see.
Yeah. So we're both riding with Cleveland. Aaron, what do you got to say?
2, we got Steelers versus the Browns. Close game. Shitty game, but good game, I guess. They're both good records. Don't really like either of the teams, but hey, they're winning games. That's all you can ask for. I think the Steelers are a little bit better. I like their weapons a little bit more on offense. But the Browns' defense can win them any game. Expect a close game, but I got the Steelers taking this one.
Let's see. The next game we got up, this one should be a pretty easy one to pick, I would think.
There's gonna be a lot of these.
Yeah, it's the upstart Las Vegas Raiders, with the new coach. What is it, something Pierce or Antonio Pierce?
Yeah, Antonio Pierce, yeah.
Antonio Pierce, Aiden O'Connell, the whole gang, going up against the Miami Dolphins. So, let's see. Raiders are under 500, right?
They are 500. They're 5-5.
They are 500. So this is a big test of the Miami Dolphins.
They're 2-0 under Antonio Pierce.
Okay.
Yep.
Because the Dolphins have only beat teams that are 500 and under.
Yeah, they have not yet to beat a good team. I forget what their best win is. I think they beat the Jets. That's probably their best win. They beat the 4-5 Jets.
They beat the Chargers, but the Chargers aren't.
The same thing, 4-5 Chargers.
Yeah. So this will be a true test according to that. But I mean, the Dolphins should smoke the Raiders.
They're 12.5-point favorites.
Yeah,
so.
they should smoke the Raiders. So I'm riding with the Dolphins. I think they're going to smoke them.
This one's going to be my upset special of the week here.
Oh boy.
The Raiders the Raiders have players. I mean, they have Devontae Adams, they have Josh Jacobs. Max Crosby's probably, I mean, he's in contention for Defensive Player of the Year right now. He's having a crazy year on defense. And just this team just looks like it has more life under Antonio Pierce. You can tell that Josh McDaniels was doing a terrible job. That team was playing uninspired. There apparently was locker room issues. Antonio Pierce is he's like Dan Campbell in a lot of ways. He just is kind of like that former football player that has a lot of energy and just he relates to the players. Seems like these guys they look like they play so much harder under him so far. And the Dolphins, Tua has looked worse as the season goes on. I feel like he is like just gone the wrong way. Tyreek Hill's still Tyreek Hill, but they're still without that one running back,
A-Chain?
Devon A-Chain. They're still without A-Chain. They got Mostert still. I think he's actually questionable. I think Mostert is questionable for the game, so I'm not even sure if they'll have him completely. But I just don't trust the Dolphins. I think the AFC East is a division full of frauds right now, and the Dolphins might be the best fraud in the AFC East, but I'm going to go with the Raiders for my upset pick of the week. And if they don't win, I think they'll definitely cover the 12.5 points, but I think I like what the Raiders have been doing under Antonio Pierce. They have good players, and I just don't trust the Dolphins yet, and especially their defense.
And we've learned Josh McDaniels is one of those coaches. He's fine as a coordinator under Belichick.
Yes.
But the second he goes out in the wild, he's fucked.
If you put him in charge, it's just bad news.
Yeah, because he did the same thing with the Broncos, I think. I don't think he lasted
he literally
long
followed
there
the
at
same
all.
script. He went to the Raiders and was like, I'm going to do exactly what I did the first time because I was right the first time. It just didn't work. And it turns out he wasn't right either time, and he'll probably never be a head coach in the NFL again.
No.
He's only like 48, though, so he's probably going to be around as a coordinator for a while.
That's true. I mean, because Belichick, is he approaching 80?
Belichick,
I mean,
he's 72 or 71.
Okay, because you can have a long career.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Aaron, what do you got to say on that pick?
Raiders Dolphins. Shouldn't be anything too crazy. I got the Dolphins taking care of business over the Raiders. Don't have to go too much in depth on it. Tua and co. They're going to be taking care of business. They're too good. They're going to get the job done. Dolphins.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Raiders by 30.
Yeah, wow, holy shit. The next game we got up is this probably should also be an easy pick, is the Chicago Bears going against the Detroit Lions. The Bears are getting Justin Fields back, but, I mean, it's still the Bears. And Detroit has been fucking on fire. Their line's healthy. They got that 1-2 punch of running backs. They're healthy. Amon St. Brown is healthy again. Everyone's back. And I think Detroit's just going to keep rolling, and they're going to steamroll these Bears and turn them into piddly little teddy bears and rip the fluff out. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about, but that's what I'm riding with, Detroit.
Yeah, I'm going with Detroit. I don't have much to say about this game. The Bears, they're not an impressive team, and the Lions are a very impressive team. Lions are probably going to get the 1 seed in the NFC this year just because the games they play are so easy down the stretch compared to the 49ers and Eagles. So yeah, I'm going with the Lions. I don't have much to say about this game. Bears aren't a good football team. The Lions are probably one of the better teams in the NFC.
Yeah, I was just looking at that too. There is a good chance the Lions could get number 1 seed based on that final stretch because the Eagles have a hell of a gauntlet
Eagles
left.
play like the best team in both conferences the rest of the season, the rest of the way. The 49ers, theirs isn't quite as tough, but they have it like Detroit's playing like they're playing like just absolute nobody the rest of the year.
Yeah.
The Vikings are the hardest game they have to play the rest of the year.
Yeah, and they get them twice in 3 weeks at the very end of the year, the Vikings. Yeah.
Yep.
But they have a lot of under 500 or 500 teams coming up. Yeah. Aaron, what's your take on that?
Bears, Lions, blowout Lions. Don't have much to say. Jahmyr Gibbs going off. Keep going, big fella. Keep doing your fucking thing, Jahmyr Gibbs. Keep giving the ball to him. Lions should be a blowout.
And let's see what we got next. 10. Okay, so we got Tennessee Titans and Jacksonville Jaguars. I was a little unsure about this pick. I mean, I'm going to still ride with the team that's got the talent and that should on paper win, which would be the Jags. It's just I don't know what to think of Will Levis. I mean, he showed some flashes in that Pittsburgh game, even though they lost, and he went off that one. What was the game they won?
It was the first game he played. I forget. I think. Oh, they played No, it wasn't the Chargers. I forget who they played their first game, but he went off. They weren't favored in that game. It was an upset. They won 28-14. Whoever they beat.
But they did just lose to Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield, so
it was like 20-6.
Still the Titans, yeah. So I know the Jags just got stomped by the the 49ers, but maybe they just have like the inverse bye week thing. 49ers came off the bye after having a 3-game losing streak.
So actually, this is interesting. Doug Peterson is now 1-7 off a bye. So he's the anti-Andy Reid. He's just awful after a bye week, where Andy Reid never loses off a bye week.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. I actually heard that going into the week. Everyone's like, bet everything against the Jaguars because Doug Peterson, for whatever reason, is just terrible after a bye week.
He's just got everyone smoking a bunch of doobies and eating cheeseburgers and hanging out,
And then they're
just
like, "Wait,
relaxing. That's for the playoff push, though. You got to keep them healthy on marijuana and cheeseburgers.
Yep, that's what he does.
But yeah, because Brock Purdy, he got his mind all straight. He's hanging out at the farm on his bye week.
Yep.
So that's what he did, and it seemed to work as they just absolutely mutilated the Jags.
Yep.
And Jags were on a 5-game winning streak, I think, going into that bye
They were,
week.
yeah, the best streak in the league until that point.
But yeah, I think they'll get semi back on track. I mean, they got weapons. They got Travis Etienne. They got the whole kit and caboodle. So I'm going to ride with Jacksonville on this one.
This one could be interesting. Will Levis has looked good in all 3 games. Even that game last week against the Buccaneers, he still showed flashes. Jaguars, I don't know what to make of them. They're a team that I really don't know who I'm working with yet this year. They're just so up and down. I just can't really trust them yet. Trevor Lawrence has played well. But yeah, I don't trust their defense. I don't know if I necessarily trust their weapons, even though there's a lot of guys I like. They haven't all played consistently. I'm going to go Jacksonville this game just because they are the better team, I feel like. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee upset this game. But I think Jacksonville really needs to win this game to stay on pace with Houston, who's suddenly looking like one of the best teams in the league. Yeah. And Houston's right there, and Houston already won a game against them, and they're going to play them again at home later in the year. So for the Jaguars, this is kind of a must-win game for them. They really can't afford to drop a game to Tennessee with how the division's shaping up.
Oh, yeah, especially with just how close the whole AFC is. It's insane. And you look at the NFC.
There's only every team in the AFC is either 5-5 or better, except 2 teams, the Patriots and Titans. The Titans are 3-6, and the Patriots are 2-7. But every other team is at least 5-5 or better.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah,
I like it, but I hate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of parity in the league this year. It's hard to pick. I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm having a hard time making a pick this year.
I had a good idea early in the season. I had a good idea 4 weeks into the season. Like you said, I have no idea now.
Yeah, I couldn't pick it.
I have an idea on the NFC side of who I think will be the top 3 that could make it, but the AFC, swash.
The AFC, any of the 7 teams that make the playoffs, unless it's Pittsburgh, could probably win the Super Bowl. Yeah. Sorry to Pittsburgh, but I just...
Pittsburgh should be a one and done if they do make it, unfortunately. Okay, so we're both riding with the Jags. Aaron, are you riding with the Jags too, or are you going to go with the Tennessee, be the other guy?
Titans-Jaguars, doo-doo game. Jaguars should take care of business. Titans aren't very good. Will Levis looks all right, but Jaguars.
Oh, wow. Okay. No.
Will Levis time.
Oh, yeah. Next game up, we got a big Mikey Galton game. We got the Los Angeles Chargers going into Green Bay. Mikey probably hates his life because almost every week the Chargers, they get it together sometimes, and they just fucking blow it in the 4th. Jesus Christ, I hope his heart's okay. I mean, he's probably going to have to start taking those baby aspirins and some fish oil and some blood pressure, or he's just going to have to switch teams. I don't know. But I'm riding with the Chargers this week, Mikey, and I hope they don't stress you out as much this week. I hope they can take care of the Packers. But I feel like the Packers are kind of sticky. They stick around. They're not a good team, but they're a little sticky. But I'm hoping the Chargers get their shit together for all 4 quarters. And
what's so funny about the Chargers, they've had 4 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in rows. They had Fouts, who was a Hall of Fame quarterback. Then Drew Brees came in for a short time, but he obviously wanted to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Then they got, Phillip Rivers might not be a Hall of Famer, but he's still a very high-end quarterback.
Good, yeah.
Now they got Justin Herbert, who, I guess it's early to say he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he has the skills to be a Hall of Famer for sure.
Yeah.
But they just can't they're the Chargers. So I'm not going to pick the Packers just because the Packers suck. I do not like the Packers this year. Jordan Love, he's gotten worse every game this year.
Yeah.
He came out, and I was actually pretty high on him coming into the year, but he just sucks.
Those first 3 games, I was like, all right, he could get together.
But once the season got on, teams got film on, he just sucks. He's not very good. The Packers probably going to move on from him, if not after this year, after next. And their defense isn't playing that good. I think their receivers are some of the most overrated receivers in the league. I don't see it with Watson like everyone else seems to see it with Christian Watson. Romeo Doubs is not as good as I thought he was at one point. I mean, I guess it could be because they're playing with Jordan Love, but
Either way.
I don't feel good about their offense as a whole in Green Bay. Whereas the Chargers, I mean, they just put up 38 points and lost last week because Brandon Staley, the defensive coach, gave up 41 points to the Lions. Brandon Staley needs to get fired. That's like Ken Dorsey. I was happy he got fired for the Bills, but Brandon Staley's needed to get fired for 2 years for the Chargers. He is the worst coach in the NFL. I feel like I said that the last podcast I came on like a month and a half ago.
So, yeah.
I say it anytime he comes up in conversation. He's just awful.
You say it almost every week in our chat. This will be the week that Brandon Staley gets fired.
And then the Chargers are just like, no, we're going to give him another week.
Yeah.
And they're 4-5 with a generational quarterback and the highest paid roster in the league. It's like, what are we doing here? So I'm going to go with the Chargers. They really should win this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Brandon Staley found a way to give it to the Packers either, and they'll just give him another week probably.
It's in his DNA to blow games that he should win.
Yeah, it's hard to trust him.
Wasted time and money. Yeah, Aaron, so are you going to ride with Jordan Love's apparently not so nice balls anymore, or are you going to go with Mikey's Chargers?
Chargers, Packers, about the same thing as a lot of the other picks. I like the Chargers, don't really like the Packers. Jordan Love, your balls have really cooled off. Don't like them that much anymore. Kind of disappointed in your balls. Justin Herbert's balls look a little bit better, so I'm going to have to leave your balls for Justin Herbert's balls.
Oh, wow, shocker. Next game we got up, I'm kind of excited for this game, actually, so this is Arizona and Houston. So Arizona's got Kyler back, and he did pretty decent coming back from ACL tear. Yeah. At that last game. They pulled off the win, right, against the Falcons?
Yeah, game-winning field goal.
They got the win. Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns, I think. 2 rushing touchdowns?
Yeah, he had 1 rushing touchdown. I think he said 1. He had
2
one
total touchdowns.
No, he didn't have a passing one.
Oh, okay.
He had 220 and 1 pick. He had passing. It was like 34 rushing yards and a touchdown.
Because he had 25 fantasy points at least, so he had a decent clip.
Maybe he did have a passing one. I don't know.
He might have one. Because I have him and CJ Stroud on my team, and Lamar, and they both did 25 points last week. But anyways, we're going against Houston, who they're blowing everyone's minds away, because no one expected Houston to be sitting at 5-4 now.
Yeah, they're 5-4 now.
Yeah, and CJ Stroud looks good, and I would say he's in the MVP conversation, even as a rookie, because he's only got 2 picks. He's probably got 14 or 16 touchdowns. He's looking sharp, I'd say, and he knows how to make his team rise up, kind of like what Peyton Manning does with his weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm riding. I don't trust Kyler in Arizona against Houston and what they got going on. I'm riding with the Texans on this one. So.
Yeah, the Texans are weird teams. They lost to the Panthers 15-13 like 2 weeks ago, but then they just beat the Bengals, and who did they beat 2 weeks ago? That was another big upset win.
Fuck.
Oh, the Buccaneers. That wasn't really an upset win, but C.J. Stroud had like 450 yards and like 5 touchdowns.
Yeah,
so that was just a big game for him. But yeah, this is an interesting one. I still am not that high on Arizona. I got Kyler back. This is just kind of like his audition to see if he's going to be the quarterback of the future, or if after the year they're going to move on from him pretty much.
Yeah.
I think they're probably going to stick with him. I think Kyler's pretty good. But the Texans right now, it's hard to trust them. I will say, though, I think that they have had just a great offseason last year with their coaching hires. D'Amico Ryans looks to be a great head coach, and I love Bobby Slowick as their offensive coordinator. Bobby Slowick, I think, is probably going to be a head coach in the NFL. Not next year, it'll be a little too soon, but the year after, he's going to be that guy that everyone wants to get to be their head coach, will be Bobby Slowick. He's one of the San Francisco guys, worked under Kyle Shanahan. He actually used to work at PFF gathering data and stuff.
No shit.
He's just a really smart guy, Bobby Slowick is, and you can just see that offense. He's getting the most out of what is not a high-paid offense over there in Houston. They had a good draft, too. I mean, it looks like Tank Dell was an absolute home run in the 3rd round of the draft. Miko Collins is playing great. The 2 Cowboy tight ends they signed, Noah Brown and
Dalton
Schultz. They're having career years right now.
They got Will Anderson on the team, too.
Yeah, Will Anderson's playing great on defense. Derek Stingley's starting to look a lot better this year with D'Amico Ryans as his coach. And obviously, C.J. Stroud is just playing pretty clean football on that side of the ball, too. So I'm going to go Houston in this game, but I think this will be a close game. I think the Cardinals will stay in it, and I think it will probably come down to the 4th quarter. Wouldn't be surprised if Arizona won this game, but I'm going to try to trust Houston there, even though I'm still iffy on trusting them. I just think they're a really young team. It's hard to trust young teams. They seem to be on and off, but I'll go Houston.
Yeah. Aaron, what are your thoughts? You going with Murray or C.J. Stroud on this one?
Cardinals, Texans. Texans. C.J. Stroud, my guy, love him. Kyler Murray, he's back. James Cook, not Cook, James Conner back, looking pretty decent, but CJ Stroud, you're that fucking dog, man. Keep doing that shit.
Oh, of course, yeah, that makes sense.
He's always been a Murray guy.
Yeah. Oh. Where is Stroud from? Is he Ohio?
I don't know, someplace like that.
Oh, like the college or
Yeah, he's Ohio State.
yeah. Oh, Aaron's probably picking Stroud.
He's gonna
then.
pick CJ
Yeah.
Stroud.
I mean, who wouldn't pick?
We
the
should put
Texans?
like the Kenny from South Park noises in if he doesn't submit
yeah.
something.
So it's just like
Oh, Aaron.
or what's that fucking Muppet Beaker? The guy is like with a fucking lab coat guy, Beaker and the other
You're talking
one.
about.
Yeah.
Maybe just put in like a various of those noises in there.
Just I could do that pretty easy. Boomhauer, yeah, no, man, I don't want to ride with this team, in the NFL, yeah. Anyways, we're going with next game we got up here is the Dallas Cowboys, Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
This would be a perfect game for Dallas to lose. Like I feel like it would be one they would lose, but I'm not picking them to lose. I think Dallas has all the weapons to be a good team. They got a good defense. They got good offense. It's just a matter of actually winning and sticking to it. Panthers just suck. So not much to say about that. Sorry, Frank Reich. I'm riding with Cowboys. They should win this, but I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Panthers pull it off.
I don't see. I'm going Cowboys in this one. I don't have much to say about this. The Panthers suck. Their best offensive weapon is a 35-year-old white wide receiver, and Bryce Young is struggling because of that. Against that Cowboys defense, I just really don't see a world where the Panthers win. I'm going Cowboys. That's about all I got to say about that.
And then I'm pretty sure we know what Aaron's picking because he said he's picking Dallas all year except for if it was the Super Bowl Bills in Dallas.
Okay, gotcha.
So Aaron's picking Dallas.
Dallas, Carolina, not much to say. Dallas is a juggernaut, not that great, but pretty freaking good. Carolina sucks. Dallas.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah. Let's see, what do we got up to after that? Oh, we got the DeVito game. We got the New Jersey Giants going against the Washington Manders. The Giants are just fucking crap now. I mean, Tyrod's gone. Danny Dimes is gone.
Yeah.
Danny steal all the dimes, but Danny not worth a dime.
Yeah, Caleb Williams is going to be their quarterback next year.
Yeah. And then it will be the Giants, because the Panthers won't get it because all their picks went to the Bears?
To the Bears. So I guess it could be the Bears, but
it's probably going to be the Giants.
I think the Giants are not winning the game the rest of the year.
Yeah. I hope they tank, and I hope the Bills get Dable back.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
I guess his job's safe because he was against the Danny Dimes contract, but so was the GM. The owner was just like, no, he reminds me of Eli.
Oh, Jesus Christ. They look the same. Other than that.
that's
just another white dude.
Yes, they can't really fire the GM or Dayball because they were like, yo, this is a terrible idea. And he was like, no, that is the next Eli Manning.
It's like some Jim Irsay shit with the Colts.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But, I mean, Danny DeVito, or not Danny DeVito, I don't mean to shame Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito's a saint and a god.
Yeah, he was great.
Whoever this DeVito is, though, he's not good at football, or the Giants just suck. Whatever it is, I'm taking the Manders. So
the ACC is one of the worst. It's probably the second worst of all the Power 5 conferences. It's pretty easy at the bottom. When Tommy DeVito played
that's what it is.
Tommy DeVito played at Syracuse. I'm a Notre Dame fan, but Syracuse is my second team, as you can see. I would watch those games. I'd be like, dude, this guy sucks. Why are we starting Tommy DeVito right now? And that was in the bottom tier of the ACC. And when I saw he was starting in the NFL, I had to look. I'm like, is this really the guy that was playing for Syracuse? Like, how did he even get a backup job in the NFL? And I was like, oh, maybe he's gotten, but he didn't. He's not gotten better. He is still absolutely terrible. Every year is like that one quarterback that starts some games. Like last year was Ian Book. There's always this one quarterback that starts some games that has no business starting games in the NFL. And you're just like, really, you guys couldn't find a better backup than that? That's Tommy DeVito this year. And I think I think it might be by design. I think the Giants want to lose these games. And they can either get Drake May, which honestly, Drake May, the like Duke white boy kind of feels like the New York Giants type of quarterback, honestly. So
especially with how their owner's talking.
Exactly.
Apparently.
I could see them end up getting Drake May. So the Giants are going to lose. Who are they playing? The Commanders?
The Commanders.
It didn't really matter. You could have told me they're playing the Panthers. I probably would have picked the Panthers. I think the Commanders win. Sam Howell's actually having a really good year besides sacks. It's like that's his kryptonite. He runs into a lot of sacks. Like his O-line's actually pretty decently ranked, but he just himself creates sacks by not being aware. But besides that, passing the ball, he's had a really good year. He's probably going to get a second-year starter for that team based on how he's played this year. And I think, like I said, the Giants suck. I think the Commanders win this game.
Yeah, I like it. Somehow Sam, that's what we've been calling him on the podcast. Somehow Sam gets it done.
I'm calling him the second coming of Slingin' Sammy because Slingin' Sammy Howell was probably the greatest Redskins quarterback of all time. So he's Slingin' Sammy reincarnated.
Oh, so there was a Sam Howell on the Redskins before?
Well, no, it was Sammy Bow.
Okay.
And his nickname was Slingin' Sammy because he was like the first quarterback to do the forward pass as like an actual strategy.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and they called him Slingin' Sammy. And Sam Howell just he's like, I think PFF rates big time throws. It just has to do with like the situation and how accurate of a ball a quarterback threw a ball past 20 yards. I think Sam Howell's second in the NFL behind Tua with big time throws this year.
Shit.
So he throws a lot of deep balls. So I was calling him Slingin' Sammy.
If he gets some better pocket awareness, look out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. With the Giants, I think they would be better off if they started Danny Dimes DeVito, the 4'11" man. I bet he
couldn't be worse.
He could throw some fucking piss missiles, man. I've seen him humchucking eggs and shit on It's Always Sunny, so,
Whenever a situation like this happens, I'm like, why doesn't someone just, like, give Tim Tebow a shot or Colin Kaepernick that shot as well? Just to, like, cause why not? You're going to lose anyways, at least make it fun.
Or do that, like, that Philadelphia Eagles movie or whatever where, like, they didn't have enough. They needed a guy. They took a guy off the street. I think Mark Wahlberg was in the movie. And,
Invincible.
Invincible, yeah. Just do that. Just find some fucking New Jersey motherfuckers.
I think it would be a lot more fun rather than letting Tommy DeVito go out there and be terrible.
Put Joey Diaz out there.
Yeah, put Joey Diaz out there. That's what I'm saying.
Aaron, what are you going with? Are you going with the Jersey Giants or somehow Sam?
Giants, Redskins, doo-doo game. Giants don't have a quarterback. Redskins do. Redskins are going to win this one. Go, Commanders, go.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Next game got up. This should be an easy pick. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the San Francisco 49ers. I think the 49ers got their shit together again. They got Chase Young on there now, and that's only helping. And they're healthy, and Brock Purdy did his farm time for the year, so he's dialed in. So I think San Francisco should win this game, and yeah.
Yeah, so I was talking to my buddy Tyler that I watch most of the games with, and we've come to the conclusion if Trent Williams is playing, we're going to bet on the 49ers every week because if Brock Purdy,
yeah.
If Brock Purdy has the protection of Trent Williams, he plays good. When he loses one of his 8 Hall of Famers, he plays pretty terribly. So Trent Williams is healthy as far as I know. I'm picking the 49ers. The Buccaneers might still win the NFC South because that division is an absolute disaster, but they're going to lose this game along the way.
Oh, yeah. Aaron, what do you have to say on that?
Bucks, Niners. Bucks aren't great. Niners are good. Really good. So, Niners will take care of business. I don't like the Bucks very much. Best thing for them is to lose so they get a better draft pick. Got the Niners.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah. After that, oh, God. We got the New Jersey Jets coming into Buffalo.
Yeah.
Man, good thing we don't have Cody Galton on the podcast this week. There is going to be a podcast where we're going to have Mikey and Cody on here.
Is that coming up the pipeline soon?
I got to line it up because it's got to be a weekend one.
Yeah.
Just because Mikey's out in Elmira. But yeah, I don't even really want to talk about that stinker last week. I'll just say what the fuck. But the one good thing that you said earlier is Ken Dorsey's gone. Finally,
he got fired.
Some kind of change. I don't know if it'll be enough to really get us going this season, but we needed to do something, so I'm hoping we'll have that short week, 1 week turnaround. Maybe we'll be able to. I mean, we should beat the Jets. We should.
We lost them last time.
But we lost them last time, and so that's why I'm not confident, but I'm still going to ride with Buffalo. I mean, I'm going to be at the game. You're going to be at the game. And hopefully by the end of the game when we're pulling out of that parking lot and it's crowded as fuck, we can appreciate that we got a win behind us. So I'm riding with Buffalo on that one.
Yeah, I have no idea what I want to pick for this game.
Yeah.
Joe Brady's the new offensive coordinator. He had that great year at LSU as the offensive coordinator there with Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Then he went to Carolina with Matt Rule, and it was an absolute disaster. He did terrible there. And he's been our quarterback coach, I think, since Ken Dorsey came in. So I have no idea what to expect from the offense. Hopefully a cleaner version of the offense, but I don't have high expectations. I think Sean McDermott knows he's coaching for his job right now. Pretty much, I don't think he would have made that change unless, someone's telling him, hey, Sean, we got to, pick it up because you've kind of been disappointing the last few years. So the Bills really need to. If the Bills just lose out the rest of the year, this is they still play the Eagles, they play the Chiefs. We have to play Miami again. We play Dallas.
Chargers.
Yeah, we play the Chargers, which definitely isn't a free game. We play the Patriots, who we've already lost to once this year. We play the Jets, he has to win this Jets game because, to be honest with you, I don't even know if we're going to get to 500 at the rate we're going right now. The AFC's too stacked. I don't think we're making the playoffs. Our schedule's too hard. I'm pretty out of the Bills season right now. It's just too hard of a schedule forward, and we're tied with the Raiders right now.
Yeah.
It's too long of a road ahead right now. I'm going to go with the Jets. I'm going to pick the Jets in this game. I think their defense is good. I don't have that much faith in Joe Brady. I'm happy Ken Dorsey's gone, but I don't necessarily think Joe Brady's the solution.
No.
It was just a move that kind of had to happen, and Joe Brady's the guy that gets to wear the hat now for the rest of the season. I just think the Jets, this just feels to me like the Bills will lose this game, and this will just kind of be the last nail in the coffin for the Bills.
Yeah, it does feel like that. I'm riding with the Bills, but it does feel like that.
Yeah, maybe they'll prove me wrong. I don't even care, though. We're not making the playoffs, so I lose games.
Let's tank for Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I'd love to lose some games just to get a better draft pick. Seriously, we need talent on this roster. The roster's old. There's going to have to be a rebuild. It's going to be a weird offseason.
And our defense is just absolutely mutilated with injuries.
Yeah, and they're all old. It's just there's not a lot of good young players. The defensive line is a little bit younger. We can build around that, but the secondary has to be rebuilt. That
Trey Day.
Trey Day is old.
He's old.
Yeah.
Even Von's old.
Yeah, Kyer's a bust. We have Epinesa on the line. We signed out Oliver. We have the lines probably in good shape, but we're gonna have to rebuild the second half of the defense. We're probably going to have to rebuild our weapons on offense because I think Stephon probably gets traded in the offseason from all the shit I'm seeing. And he's going to be 31. I think the window for the Bills to win the Super Bowl in the Stephon Diggs era is over. If you look at every wide receiver in the history of the NFL, only one has continued to be productive past the age of 33, and that's Jerry Rice. I just don't think Stephon Diggs is Jerry Rice.
And that's Jerry Rice.
Yeah, and that's Jerry. That's the greatest wide receiver to ever play the game.
Yeah.
Randy Moss fell off around 32, Terrell Owens fell off around 31. You just go down the list, and it's surprising. You'll look. The only ones that don't really apply are kind of like slot receivers, like Julian Edelman, and tight ends don't apply to this. But the type of wide receiver that Stephon Diggs is,
number one.
Yeah, they fall off, and we might as well trade him while he still has some value at the end of the year, and it's going to be a rebuild.
I'd be fine with that. Sell him high. Get some picks. Get another guy maybe. Get a number 2 out. I don't know.
Get picks. Get a new coach. Draft the team. Rebuild. That's what we got to do. I'm just hoping for a John Elway-like career for Josh Allen at this point.
Yeah. Aaron, I figure you're picking the Bills.
My Bills going to take on the Jets in what I know is going to be an ugly and super frustrating game. I do believe we'll take care of business. Joe Brady coming in at the freaking OC. Let's see what he's got. Kind of young. Might have a nice set of balls. Better than Jordan Love's balls. Josh Allen, I know he's going to play hard. I'm sure he'll turn it over, but I think he's going to have a good game. Not a great game, decent game. Get the job taken care of, at least one over the air for a tutty and one on the ground for a tutty. I'm going to think he's going to get at least 3 touchdowns. I think he'll play a lot better. Bills take it by 2 scores. We're back, boys. We back.
Yep. Yeah. Who would have thought? Yeah. Let's see. We got 3 games left. Next game up is wait. Oh, okay. It was Dallas versus Panthers, right? That is.
Yeah, we already picked that one.
I wrote my L and my C the same, so it looks like it says car and car, but it must be Seahawks versus Rams.
Yeah, that's a game.
Okay, it is the game. Okay. I was like, man, did I put the Panthers on here twice? All right. Anyways, Seattle Seahawks going against the Los Angeles Rams. It looks like Geno kind of got it together last week. Rams, do they have Stafford back? Or is
Stafford's
he
expected to play.
Okay, so that makes him a little better.
And the Rams won the first game 20-6 against the Seahawks.
Yeah. Does McVay always have the Seahawks number? Or
Yes.
is it
Yeah, that's how that works.
Oh, shit.
And then Shanahan always has McVay's number.
Okay. Fuck it, I'm still riding with Geno. Geno season, baby. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, the Rams have kind of fell off the last few weeks. They don't have a defense, and they don't. Their receivers that were looking good at the start of the year. Cooper Kupp's starting to kind of look a little old, and Puka Nakua's not doing what he was at the beginning of the year anymore. They've just kind of, it seems like they came out of the season motivated. Sean McVay's a good coach. He had them playing good, but just their lack of talent has caught up with them. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. They're a lot better team, and they could really use this win, although the NFC playoffs are kind of locked except the 7th seed, so it's not, if they lost this game, it's not the end of the world, but I expect them to win the game.
Yeah, because that division's basically just the Seahawks and 49ers, right?
Actually, like, the entire NFC playoffs, besides the winner of the NFC South, is kind of locked up.
Yeah.
Because the Vikings, even at the 7th seed, they have a game-and-a-half lead over the Buccaneers, who are the current 8th seed right now. And the Buccaneers are, obviously, if they get up higher, they're probably going to be in the lead of their division.
Yeah.
So it's really just the NFC South's the only questionable team for the playoffs, and the NFC, unless someone in that wild card picture just loses out.
Yeah. Aaron, what do you got to say on that?
Rams, Seahawks. Not a fan of either team that much. I think the Seahawks are better than the Rams. But they're kind of scary too. But when they're on, they're pretty good. So I got the Seahawks taking care of business in this one.
Oh, wow. Okay. We're all going Seattle. What do we got? Up next, Minnesota and Denver. I feel like this could be an interesting game.
Yeah.
Josh Dobbs. I like Josh Dobbs. I like what he's been doing with all these teams. He's been on all these different teams, but he's got heart, and he's fighting. He's playing. And now he's got weapons, though, because he didn't have these weapons over in Arizona. But in JJ, I don't know if he's coming back this week or later on. But
I think it's this week.
It is this week, so,
Yeah.
so it would be interesting to see Josh Dobbs with all these weapons now, because he used to be on the Steelers, and then was he on the Browns? No,
No, he was on the Browns, but they cut him before he ever played.
Yeah, Steelers, Browns, Cardinals, and he only had Hollywood Brown.
Well, he's
the
on
Cardinals.
Tennessee last year, too. He actually started the last game of the regular season for Tennessee last year.
Oh, no shit.
And that game was winner wins the division against Jacksonville, and he had them leading in the fourth quarter. And then I think the Jaguars had like a 90-yard touchdown drive to win the game, but he actually almost took him to the playoffs in that start.
Holy shit. But yeah, I like it. I like that he's going to have weapons now. He's going to get J.J. Jordan-Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and the gang. And so, Denver beat the Bills, but, I mean, the Bills aren't the Bills right now. And Denver did have a big win against the Chiefs, though, which I think has more merit to it. But I'm riding with Minnesota on this one. I'm going Josh Dobbs season, baby. Bald heads unite.
Minnesota's been playing really good. They're going to be the 7th seed in the NFC. They're a good team. Josh Dobbs has been playing well, and they have a lot of talent on that roster. And for the Broncos, Sean Payton's a good coach. And even when they lost 70 to whatever it was against the Dolphins, I still had faith. Sean Payton's just a good coach. He's always been a good coach. He's a very smart guy, and he's turned things around. That defense over the last 5 weeks actually ranks, I think, second in the NFL in turnover.
They only allow like an average of 16 points this last year.
Yeah, they're first in points allowed and second in turnovers and like third in yards allowed. The defense of a bunch of nobodies, Sean Payton's absolutely turned that around over there. And Russell Wilson's playing a good year. He's playing like he was on the Seahawks at this point. He's just a good game manager, just not doing anything. He's not cooking. He's not cooking.
He's making the plays when he needs to.
Yeah, he's just doing what he needs to do. Sean Payton, he deserves a lot of credit for turning this team around. They were in turmoil after the disaster of last year, and it kind of bled a little into this year, but it seems like he's gotten things going the right way. They've won 3 in a row, 2 against the Bills and Chiefs, who were probably 2 of the top AFC teams predicted coming into the year.
Yeah.
And I like the Broncos. I think they're going to keep on winning. This is going to be a good game. I think it'll probably be close, but I'm going to take the Broncos. I just think Sean Payton I think he's figured it out what he has to do to win in Denver.
And then I said at the beginning of the season, I thought the Broncos were going to go 0-6 and then win out. So they've gone 1-5 and then won 3 in a row. So we'll see if they keep winning. I mean, I'm picking against them, but we'll see.
Yeah, they could.
Aaron, what do you have to say? You going with Sean Payton or you going with Josh Dobbs?
Vikings, Broncos. I got the Vikings winning.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Final game. We got, is this Monday Night Football?
Super Bowl rematch, Monday Night Football.
Super Bowl rematch, Monday night. Man, this could be the game of the week, too. We're starting with a game of the week and ending with a game of the week.
Yeah, it's like the best games are the first and last, and it's like the bread to a crap sandwich.
Yeah. It's like if you just turned a sandwich inside out. You put all the meat and shit on the outside and put the bread in the middle. The bread's pretty good, though. I like
it's like a brioche bun, man. Like
I liked what you said first, yeah. Yeah, it's the bread to the crap sandwich. For this one, I'm thinking Philadelphia revenge game. I don't got much to say, but I'm thinking Philly pulls this one off. But I think it's going to be a close one, tooth and nail down to the last minute. But I think Philly pulls this one off.
There's been something missing for the Chiefs this year. Just off their defense is playing great. It's probably the best defense Pat Mahomes has ever had. But offensively, Rashee Rice has kind of started to emerge as the number one receiver, but still no Tyreek Hill replacement at that point. Travis Kelce, he's been kind of hit or miss this year. He hasn't been necessarily just the historic Travis Kelce putting up big numbers every week. He's had some good weeks. He's had some bad weeks. And the Eagles, they just keep finding scrappy ways to win games. They haven't looked as dominant as the 49ers do when they're winning, but they just keep winning games. They just keep finding ways to win close games. And I'm going to go Eagles this one too, but I am confident that the Chiefs are going to get it together at some point this year. It's Andy Reid, it's Pat Mahomes. 1 week this year, they're just going to come out and they're going to click, and it's just going to be a bloodbath. And maybe it is this week in the Super Bowl rematch. Maybe they'll be really motivated to come out and make this that week. But just from what I've seen so far this year, I think the Eagles have the slight edge. And neither of them have been perfect this year, but I think the Eagles have been a little better up to this point from what I've seen.
And that's what makes both those teams scary, is none of them are firing on full cylinders yet. I think out of both those teams, though, when the Eagles are firing on full cylinders based on their roster, I think that's a really scary team.
Well, it's one thing,
get it together.
I really do hate betting against Pat Mahomes because in these big games, his entire career, he's just showed up.
Yeah, it's true.
It seems like the bigger the game, he's like always does something that just makes you like, damn, that guy's the best player I've ever seen.
It's like the Brady gene, but he also is athletic.
Yeah, it's like he's more flashy than Brady. It's like Tom Brady just methodically murdered you every single week. He'd
check down.
He'd let you get like a 14-point lead on you just to tear your heart out. Mahomes is like out there throwing like passes behind his back and like just murdering you with flashy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a hard time betting against the Chiefs. I am right now, but it's just I wouldn't be surprised if Pat Mahomes came out and this was the game he had like 450 yards and 5 touchdowns.
And they're a late season team too. So come playoffs, so boy, right. Scary.
No one wants to play him.
No, not at all. Aaron, what do you guys say with this? You go on Fly Eagles Fly or Chiefs Kingdom?
Now, by far the game of the week, we got the Chiefs versus the Eagles. Great game. Super excited about it. I think the Eagles will get the job done just in time to lose to the Bills the following week. They're going to get their heads, their ego's going to be up and high. Nobody can beat us, blah, 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 blah. And Josh Allen's going to roll into town and take care of business next week. But for that to happen, I'm going to need the Eagles to take care of the Chiefs this game. I got the Eagles winning. And that's it for Aaron's virtual picks. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, of course, yeah. No one's picking. Yeah.
Eagle sweep.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, we got all those gone up and down, all the games for week.
Up and down the river.
Up and down the river. Yeah, we should play that on the podcast. We should live stream. We gotta be careful when we live. We should live stream us watching football, playing up and down the river. Yeah, if you guys want to watch us play up and down the river and live stream fights and NFL,
dude, if we could get the whole fantasy to like group chat together to do that, that would be dangerous because your account would probably get shut down after whatever came out in the live stream.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, if you WPSP fans out there, all 7,000 of you,
all 7 of you,
forgot to divide by 1,000, carry the 1 or whatever. If you want to see us play some up and down the river, give us a like, comment, subscribe, hit us up in the DMs, just spam it. Just say up
just
and down
put in the comments up and down the river, and we can do it live on air during a football game. It'll be a time.
Yeah, we'll be drinking Jenny Heavies. Probably not. Not at all.
Who knows what we'll be drinking?
Yeah,
but
who knows? Yeah.
You'll tune in. You'll hear some things that you probably couldn't hear at your local church.
Yeah. Anyways, it's good to be back. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week. All right. I shouldn't have said next week.
Oh, yeah, now.
Maybe not next week.
Now if you don't come on next week, it's awkward.
You'll catch us whenever you catch us.